and fluffy make love. So, there might be some hot takes in here, depending on what I come across, so proceed with caution. So I've got it up here on my monitor. So, the first one is, am I the asshole for ruining our family dinner after a comment about my smile? We're currently on family vacation. Myself, my husband, 2 kids, and my parents. A little background. My mother is odd, okay? And my dad has commented, as long as I can remember, that she and I are like oil and water. I can't even put her oddness completely into words, other than that she feels competitive over my father's attention. Not even with just me, but also with her grandsons. If my father wants to read them a story or tuck them in bed, she interrupts and tells him it's time for him to go to sleep. It's incredibly cringy to watch. Interesting. The other pertinent fact is that I have chronic pain. Every avenue has been exhausted. My successful career is gone, but my mother always downplays it, acting like I just have a little headache when she knows that I am never not in pain. In contrast, she is constantly looking for a reason to go see a new doctor. Every tiny twinge is the end of the world for her. So, tonight, we were set to go out for our first family dinner. We get to the lobby, everyone's dressed up, and it's decorated for Christmas, so I'm getting pictures. I finally asked my dad if he would take a picture of our family of 4. As we're posing with our children in front, I see my mother go right up next to my dad and yell out, "Stop that. You need to fix your smile." I honestly think she's talking to one of her boys, since I can't see their faces. I add in, "Okay, nice smiles." However, my mom interjects again. "No, you, in parentheses my name. Your smile is horrible. It looks like she takes her fingers, puts them on each side of her mouth, and pulls one up and one down while tilting her head." That's crazy. I'm honestly baffled, as I am genuinely smiling. I realize that my smile probably doesn't extend up to my eyes like it used to as a result of the pain, but she was acting like I was doing a goofy face. I go to reset, and she once again yells, "Stop making that face." At this point, I'm angry. I leave the pose, get the phone from my dad, pick up my purse, and start walking towards the restaurant. But she's not done. She hurries after me and continues to tell me I need to look at the photos to see how awful my smile was. I did. It was not. There was nothing wrong with the picture. The fact that she kept going on and on, justifying her actions, I was finally just done. I stopped walking, told my husband I'm sorry, but I'm going to go back to the room, and that he and the kids can go to dinner without me. I was on fire with anger and gave way to tears as soon as I was out of her presence. Sorry, I'm sleepy. So, in her mind, and maybe everyone else's, I am the one who ruined dinner. And I probably did. I should be able to just let her words roll off me. I feel such a shell of my former self from everything I've lost to this devouring pain. Now I can't even smile correctly. Interesting. However, I'm pretty sure I'm being TA to the people I love the most, the asshole to people I love the most, and that makes the whole thing even worse. Wow. Okay. So, your mother does seem like an asshole, first and foremost. That is rude, uncalled for, and Miss Ma'am needs to just relax. Not wanting your husband's attention to be on literally anybody else, like a child, is crazy. I don't think that you're the asshole. I don't think that you ruined the dinner, although you are the person who, like, got up and left. She's the one who kind of, I guess, instigated you, and that's really rude, regardless of whether or not you have chronic pain. I'm kind of interested in what kind of pain could cause your smile to change. I've never heard of that. But that's just my, like, curiosity getting to me. But maybe it's not your pain and she's just a bitch. And your smile is fine and has always been fine. Where do you see where they rate this? Or does that, I don't know. I really like watching Dylan Is Not in Trouble. And he always, like, says, like, oh, this person's been considered, like, the asshole or not the asshole. But it doesn't have a verdict here. What's this? What does that mean? I've had Reddit for a long time, but I don't really use it. Like, my account is probably, like, from maybe 2016 or before, but I, like, never use it. I think I've literally, like, 2 karma. Okay. It's locked. What did she do? Locked post. Why is it locked? Okay, let's see. Sort by, I want to go to one of the top ones, see, like, one that's, like, crazy. An election. What's POO mode activated? I don't know what any of this stuff means. Ooh, this one sounds good. Everyone sucks. Someone put everyone, or that might be like the consensus. I don't know how this works. I should probably figure that out. This one looks interesting. Am I the asshole for telling my boyfriend's mom to mind her business? This sounds juicy. I, 26 female, have been dating my boyfriend Mark, 29, for 2 years. His mom had come to our house right after a disagreement. We have a 3-month-old child who was sleeping. I admit I was giving short answers and being slightly passive-aggressive. For example, when he asked me for something, I put it on the opposite side of the coffee table, so he had to stand up. Oh, so she's petty. Same girl. His mom decided to come talk to me in the kitchen and tell me I should let it go for the baby, to not be in a hostile environment. That's a 3-month-old child. And she asked him to stand up to get something that he's fully capable of getting on his own. Okay. At that point, I lost it and told her to mind her business and to get out of my house. I told her the child is sleeping, and I'm human and have a right to feel emotions, and that she can have her son visit her at her house, since my home is so hostile. After she left, she told my boyfriend how upset she was at my reaction. He's now mad at me for snapping on his mom. He wants me to apologize, but I don't think I should have to, but want an outside opinion. Am I the asshole? To me, it seems like this mom has gotten on OP's nerves, like, multiple times for her to, like, snap, or she might have just been very heated after whatever disagreement occurred with Mr. Mark over here. Excuse me. My stomach and my throat are going crazy. I mean, he is a grown man. He doesn't have to ask her for something, he could do it on his own. It is petty though to just like be like, yeah, oh, you're asking me, whatever. Which it, like, and like not actually giving it to him. It's petty, but I mean, it's not that big of a deal. But then for the mom to say the baby is gonna be in a hostile environment, bitch, what? The child is sleeping. He or she, I don't know, is conked. He or she cannot hear a thing, probably. And just telling him that he could get something on his own, or just like making him get something on his own, isn't really, I mean, it's definitely not a great environment. It is a little hostile. It's like temperature's risen, but that, I doubt that would damage a child unless there's some additional information left out, like if they were like screaming at each other, which could definitely lead to a hostile environment for the baby, and that's not good. But from what we are presented with, he asked her for something and she put it at the edge of the table and just made him get it. But although the child's literally 3 months old and sleeping. Oh my gosh. I'm so sorry. I don't know what's going on. He's mad. I'm sure, my goodness, I'm sure the reason that he's mad, or at least part of it, is because the way his mom told him it happened. But I don't think it's necessary to apologize, but I feel like it might be easier to just apologize. Especially if you guys have a child together, you're gonna have to spend a lot of time together. 18 years. And any mounting issues with the in-laws or your boyfriend's wife, or what? So sorry. Your boyfriend's mother, it can lead to just like further issues and pent-up anger. That could like lead to just not good, no bueno. So if I were OP, I'd probably think it's stupid, but I would probably still apologize and try and not react emotionally. I don't know. Okay. This is interesting. Why does this keep happening to me? Okay, am I the asshole for refusing to learn my boyfriend's parents' language? I, 27 female, have been dating my boyfriend, 29 male, for a little over a year. We met through mutual friends and immediately hit it off. To this point, our relationship has been nothing but great, except for this one story. My boyfriend was born in Poland, and both of his parents are Polish, but he went to international schools growing up and has been living in the United States for the past 8 years. That means that he speaks English like a native speaker and only speaks Polish around his parents or other family members. I have never met his parents because they still live in Poland and I work a very demanding job, so I never really had time to go visit them. But this year I got promoted, which also means more free days. So we will be going to Poland around Christmas to spend like 2 to 3 weeks there. Since we first decided on going, I've been super excited to meet his family and discover the country that he grew up in. Here's where we started to have a problem. My boyfriend asked if I could start learning Polish before we go to Poland, so that I could communicate with his family. I completely understand why he would ask and have no problem with the idea itself. However, for multiple reasons, this would be complicated for me, so I said no. Oh my god. got a bit confused and asked why, so I explained. First of all, we are leaving for Poland on December 19th, which is in 2 weeks, so there's no way I'll have time to learn a language in 2 weeks, especially since Polish is pretty difficult. Also, I currently have a lot of work to do before I can leave for the holidays, so I have very little time to spare. And lastly, I have been asked by my company to learn Italian for professional reasons. What do you do? Italian? Okay. So I'm currently learning, and I feel like starting a new language now would make it all tangled up in my head. So I told him that I could learn some simple words and phrases, but that there was no way I'd be able to communicate with his family members in Polish in 2 weeks. Also, for context, both of his parents speak English pretty well, and some of his other family members too. And I suggested that he could translate for us if needed, but he doesn't want to. He got angry at me and said that I was disrespectful to his family, and I wasn't making efforts to understand his culture. He went on a rant about how Americans never make effort to speak other languages. I speak 3 languages fluently, and I'm learning another one. He even told me I should just stay here and not come with him for the holidays. I don't know what to do. I can understand his point of view and try to make efforts, but what he is asking me is just not doable. I don't know if I'm in the wrong here. Oh my god. I am not having a good time. Okay. You're not the asshole. I don't know much about Polish culture, but I do know that in many cultures, just like people knowing your language and learning your language can be, like, not important, but, like, it means a lot to you. So I do think it would be a really nice gesture for you to at least try and learn. If he expects you to be able to communicate, like, functionally in a conversation in 2 weeks, excuse me, he's insane. He is insane. I do agree that, like, it could be really cool, and it could be a great way to respect his culture and his family, and, like, kind of be a part of that if you were to learn, like, simple words and phrases, and then maybe someday be, like, functional, maybe not, like, fluent, but functional in communication. That would be cool. But I don't think you're necessarily being disrespectful to his family. And for him to say that Americans never make efforts to speak other languages when you're fluent in 3 is pretty wild. I wonder, I don't know. He's delulu if he thinks that anyone can learn a language in 2 weeks on top of, like, work. Now, if you had 2 weeks to do fuck all other than learn the language, you might be able to if you're very dedicated and you're able to pick that stuff up easily, but yeah, you're not the asshole. I understand why he would like you to learn the language, but I think he needs to be more understanding, and, like, be willing to give you time to still learn the language. It's not like you're gonna go to Poland, see them, and just never ever see them again, never ever interact with them again, never ever be able to build on your Polish skills or language. So, yeah, I don't know. I don't love it. I get where he's coming from, just like you said, but ooh, sorry. I just saw a roommate rant one, and I kind of really want to read it, but I also saw, am I the asshole for telling my aunt to get over what I wrote about her? And this person has been labeled not the asshole. So, let's see. I, 18 female, and my aunt, 34 female, were talking about old family drama the and my old journal was brought up. For context, I was 11 to 13 and wrote in that thing constantly. I wrote about school, family, etc. Anything that upset me, so I could get it out and feel less stressed. That's a very good habit, especially for someone of that age to have. Nice. My aunt in 2019 randomly had her her water break one night, and we rushed to the hospital. While we were all sitting in the waiting room, I read about how my aunt was slightly rude to me while we were rushing to the hospital and said she was being bitchy. Well, after my little cousin was born, my grandma took us back to my great-grandma's house. I originally thought I was staying at my great-grandma's, but a mix-up happened, so I was sent home. Well, I accidentally left my journal at my great-grandma's. I figured I'd grab it once I got back to my great-grandma's and blew it off. A few days later, my aunt sent me an angry text saying how she read my journal and said she and the rest of the family are pissed that I talked badly about them. She said they read through my whole journal. I did not give them permission to do that, and they were telling my dad. After my dad punished me, he kept the journal. He'd constantly make up lies about what I wrote and said that I wrote that I would end his life. I'm not going to say the other thing, which is a blatant lie. Now, flash forward to the important bit. Me and the rest of the family were together and were talking about old family drama, and my journal was brought up. My aunt mentioned it and said I was a real a-hole for talking bad about everyone in the family, and the rest of my family agreed. I told her and the rest of the family to get over it. It happened several years ago, and I was a child when it happened, and holding a grudge against a child was petty, considering she and the rest of my family are grown. And also said that her and the rest of the family treat me like garbage, and let my dad treat me like garbage, so of course I talk bad about them and call them out for their crap. My aunt called me an a-hole, and the family got cold and distant towards me, so am I the asshole? Feel free to ask me any questions if something doesn't make sense, or if you're curious. I'd be happy to paint a clearer picture. Okay, this was a 11 to 13-year-old. Now, I work with children. I have been a children. I've been a child. So I know that kids are very reactive, very emotional, and for them to have bad things to say about a person, particularly in their family, is very normal. They don't necessarily mean what they say. They just, in the heat of the moment, they're so angry, the only thing that they know how to do is to say something like, I hate you, or call her a bitch. Do they actually think she's a bitch? Maybe, maybe not, but she wrote this in a journal. It's not like she was going around telling the world, my aunt's a bitch, my aunt's a bitch. She wrote it in a journal. It's her self-expression. She's allowed to write how she feels. They don't have to like how she feels. They could be offended by the fact that she called her a bitch. That's fine, but it's a journal. She's not in the wrong for that. I'm sure all of those family members have also ranted or complained about other family members saying similar words. It's very common. Does it make the person who's being talked about feel good? Absolutely not, but it's it happens. And it's, again, she was doing it in a journal, and also for them to read her journal, see that and be like, let me go see what we'll call her Sally, see what Sally's writing. That's a huge invasion of privacy. To read the entire thing like that, that's pretty messed up. It is just a journal of a 11 to 13-year-old. It's not like anything crazy is gonna be in there probably, but that's just that's her personal journal. They should not be reading that. And I do think that holding a grudge against her as well for something she did when she was 11 to 13 is also pretty crazy. Yeah. Wild. I don't think that she's the asshole. She was a kid. She was expressing her feelings. She was not, like, going around telling the world. Not the asshole. Her family sucks. Okay. I'm gonna do this roommate one, and then I might be done. Also, it's very, very, very windy, and snowing where I live. So if you hear the wind in the background, sorry. Okay. Am I the asshole for yelling at my roommate because he keeps getting high off of the compressed air in the whipped cream bottles? That is a crazy title. This is probably a weird one, but I think it's a big deal because I love my ice cream decked with all the toppings, including whipped cream. Is this a joke? Whenever I buy it, I make sure the bottle stays in a certain spot near my other ice cream topping places in the fridge. What? Lately, my roommate thinks he is tough, decides to get high off of all the compressed air from the bottles of whipped cream as a joke / funny ? Question mark with his friends. I thought this would just stop after a while, but has consisted for over half a year. Whenever I get a new bottle, I maybe have 2 days to use it before hers sucks all the air out, and the bottle stops working and just sprays liquid when turned upside down. Here's where I might be the asshole. I've mentioned that this is frustrating and asked him to stop in passing whenever I saw that it was empty. Wait, but if it's just the air, how is it empty? Okay. But this latest time, I just blew up. I screamed at him. He screamed back, and now won't talk to me. His friend also called me a bitch at one point because of the yelling. This has frustrated me for the last half year, and I know that I blew up. But I think it was justified, and the ramekin from him and his friends was unwarranted. But I don't know because of friends has told me I'm overreacting. This person needs to go back to an English class, a basic one, and figure out what is going on here because wow. Like, in some places, their grammar seems fine, but then they'll say things like, a friend has told me I'm overreacting. And the ramekin from him, I'm assuming that's like a typo. Okay, like, this has to be a joke. Someone commented, not the asshole, he's engaging in the most commonly abused but least talked about drugs, nitrous oxide. Its slang term is whippet, because nitrous oxide is used to pressurize whipped cream. Wait, that's what a whippet is? Oh, after 6 months of this nonsense, he's endangering his health. I'm so confused. I mean, I don't think you're an asshole. I think you're kind of an idiot. And so is your roommate. But oh. Ooh. There's some juicy ones. Okay. I'm gonna read this one. Oh, this one's pretty short. Good. Am I I the asshole for taking my car away from my ex-girlfriend? I'll make a long story short. Me and my girlfriend of 2 years broke up recently. She moved into my house about a year ago and has been driving my car to get to school since May. And I have been riding my bike since my work is closer. She paid zero for either of these things. She broke up with me late one night. We had been having some disagreements and said she wanted to move back into her parents. I said no problem, but after tomorrow, since you're not my girlfriend, I want my car back, and offered to give her rides to school until she figured out a new situation. She said I was just doing that as a way to control her. We have talked a bit post-breakup, and every time she brings up how taking the car away was revoking kindness at it, she did give the keys back the next day. It's just something she's used against me, saying I showed my true character. Once again, this person needs help with their grammar and their punctuation. He's at least 16 if he can drive and he owns his own car, she's saying that she's going to move back in with her parents, so I'm assuming they're at least 18. And man does not know how to English. Okay. Sorry, I'm like a grammar freak. It really bothers me when people type like this. I don't think you're the asshole. That's your car. You were nice enough to lend it to her. You don't have to do that. I could see maybe how she would say that you're controlling her if you were saying, okay, well, if you leave me, I'm taking away the car. If you stay, you can keep the car. But you're just saying, like, hey, you broke up with me. This is my car. I've been riding my bike instead to help you out. But now, like, you've literally broken up with me, and so I want my own things to use. There's nothing wrong with that, in my opinion. Not the asshole. Why on earth would she think she still has the right to your car? Yeah, that is crazy after breaking up. Being like, I still want to use your car. And I feel like her saying that you showed your true character, that's kind of manipulative. Because she's trying to, like, guilt you into doing something that you, one, don't have to do, and two, she wants you to do. Like, girl, not the asshole. She kind of sucks. Moving on. I think I'm gonna find one. Sheesh, it's really whipping out there. Not the whippets. Okay. I want to find one that's, like, kind of juicy. This one sounds a little wild. Am I the asshole for not moving out of my apartment mid-semester because my girlfriend wants a neutral atmosphere to focus on her mental health? My girlfriend, her brother, and I have been living together in an apartment that her mother owns. Oh my god. It's breezy out there. While we love each other, her depression has led to conflicts over chores and other issues, causing tension in our and her brother's relationships. Recently, she and her mom decided it would be best for her to move out for an undefined period to a neutral atmosphere to work on her mental health. I agreed to this plan thinking it was best for the both of us, as I would stay in the apartment. We did break up during this conversation, hoping to get back after her mental health gets better. However, just 2 days later, she suggested that it would be more convenient for me to move out instead. She argued that it would be easier for me to leave once rather than her moving out and then coming back, only for me to move out later. I was taken aback because I had planned on moving out at the end of next year, not in the middle of my semester. We had an argument about this, and now I'm wondering if I'm in the wrong for not wanting to leave. Am I the asshole refusing to move out mid-semester? I mean, so let me. Sure, his other issues, okay. Where did she plan on going? Because she and her mom decided it would be best for her to move out. I don't know. Let's see what the comments are saying. I think I'm slow. She's the one changing the plan, not you. Are you on the lease? Do you have a written contract to protect your residency? Whether you are on the lease or not, it's really not convenient of her or her mom to assume you can just move out immediately mid-semester. That's definitely not a very kind thing for your ex-girlfriend to do. She might need a neutral environment, but that usually comes somewhere with medication, therapy, and supervision, not at the expense of everyone living there. Yeah, would her brother also move out in this scenario? Or just you? I mean, it's owned by her mother, not her. So I would guess that he's not on the lease. That she just either, like, sublets it to them, or she still pays the rent, like, and they just pay her. I don't know. I don't think he's an asshole, but I kind of want to find one that they are the asshole, but the wind is getting crazy, and I think I should go. Okay. I hope you are able to sleep. Focus. Relax. Whatever it is that you wanted to do. Or just kind of listen to the tea. I'm low-key a little scared to make takes on these because I feel like they're very heated. But it's not like anyone watches this anyway.